Hey guys, today we're putting the X100V up against the XPRO3. So before we get started, two clarifying statements. I love both of these cameras probably equally for different reasons. So, if I could own both, I definitely would. And also, if you don't like the hidden LCD screen on the XPRO3, then definitely get a different camera because it sounds like you kind of already know it's not for you. But I would also encourage you to try it at least once because that's kind of the major reason why people buy the XPRO3. Okay, so first up, let's talk about the X100V. And if you watch my review video on this that I just posted, then you'll know that this camera, I actually received it on the same day as I received the Durablack XPRO3 camera, and within the past month and a half, I've been actually picking up the X100V more than the XPRO3, which surprised me for sure. I think in terms of portability and versatility, nothing really beats this. You might have smaller cameras out there with similar image quality, but if you kind of throw in the design factor into it, then I don't think anything beats this, especially at this price point. So you have so many tools at your disposal when you grab this camera. You have a leaf shutter. So if you have a small flash, you can get a lot of power out of that, even if you're shooting at faster shutter speeds. So you're going to be able to be a little bit more flexible in the types of scenarios that you can use a flash and the power that you're actually getting out of your flash. So you have an ND filter built in. You have the ability to shoot up close with this 23mm lens, and that's the whole kind of point of this, is that you have a relatively high quality lens, the 23mm f2 lens in this camera, and it's hard to match the image quality and portability of the X100V with the XPRO3. You could put the pancake 27mm lens on there, but that's a f2.8 lens, and you can't get nearly as close to your subject with that lens. So there's definitely going to be compromises. So I think all of those things together with the X100III, the way that the size and the versatility works together, you're definitely set to go out and shoot with all of those tools. I really like how they cleaned up the design this year. To me, it feels more professional, and it just seems like every iteration of the camera tends to feel more and more professional. Another commonality of both of the cameras is that the design language is very minimal and simplistic. So even the backs of the camera, they kind of look pretty similar in terms of layout. Okay, let's talk about my thoughts on the XPRO3. So obviously the overall intention of this camera is a bit different than any other camera on the market, which is why I love it so much, with that hidden LCD screen. I enjoy how this camera can still maintain its portable status depending on what lenses you put on it. So I would say, with this adapter right here and the vintage lens, I have what is this on here? This is the Super Takmar 35 f3.5 lens. Surprisingly sharp, awesome lens. So and if you pair Fuji's XF lenses, like the smaller ones, like the 23 f2 or the 35 f2 or the 50 f2, I think it'll be even smaller than that, so you can still keep the camera relatively portable. But when it comes down to it, I actually prefer the larger size of the camera because the ergonomics are a lot better. So the button placement and the grip, everything just feels a lot more comfortable. And to me, that definitely adds to the overall shooting experience. So in terms of the design of XPRO3, there's not too much to say. It's my absolute favorite design of any camera. Especially with this Durablack finish, I think it's just a really nice looking camera, and like I said, the ergonomics are absolutely amazing. So it feels perfect in the hand. So In terms of shutter sound, I actually really like the XPro3 more. It's a little bit more robust. Whereas, you know, I don't have a memory card in the X100V right now, so I can't show you, but the X100V sounds like it's just very clicky. But the pro to that is that it is actually more quiet than the XPro3, which I think a lot of people would probably prefer. Okay, so let's get down to it. Which one of these cameras am I going to keep? And that is the XPro3. So even though the X100V is more portable, which is a big selling point for me, I do like that you still can keep the overall size of the XPro3 small depending on what lenses you put on it. And even though that 27mm pancake lens isn't as good in terms of overall versatility and image quality as the you know, the lens inside the X100V, I still think it's a great performer. But the biggest reason that I'm keeping the XPro3, besides that, you know, sweet Durablack finish, is that the overall intention of the camera is a lot different than the X100V with the hidden LCD screens. And you know, like it's the user experience is so different than any other camera, where it's really encouraging you to you know, stay focused on your composition and what's in front of you, and kind of just being in the present moment rather than, you know, worrying about all the technology in your camera and you know, looking at the, you know, a nice screen in the back and admiring what's in front of you. It just kind of keeps you in a nice creative mindset. Not everybody's going to agree with that, and that's fine, but you know, let me know what you think in the comments section below. And if you had to choose between these two cameras, let me know what camera you went with and why. Another reason I went with the XPro3 is because I really do enjoy just popping on vintage lenses on this camera and exploring the different characteristics of each lens. You know, they're so affordable. It's just something fun to do. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I'll talk to you guys later.